We're live? Live? Probably live, aren't we? One second, I'm just got an alert for Ethereum prices, which shouldn't alert me unless it goes. There's a jump of like 15%. Oh, that must be a mistake or a big buy-in. No, don't worry about crypto stuff. Oh wow. Right, got my cup of tea, got all that jazz. I'm just gonna tweet, and then I'll be right with you. I might talk about crypto briefly in this thing, just because I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right, let's start. Hi, I'm BoredGamer. Hope you're doing well. I have not updated the donation because we've had a little bit of money come in towards that. So for people that don't know, which is 99% of you, I suspect, I want to run a big bar citizen later on this year up in Manchester and get anyone else that wants to come down, including devs and that sort of stuff. I've been involved in and helped start BoredGamer in the past, but I just want something more casual that's a social get-together, have some devs speaking, have a pub quiz with some spaceship prizes, that sort of thing, rather than a load of faff and too much stuff going on. I want people to be able to, socialise, talk about Star Citizen, get a little bit of stuff there beyond that, but low effort. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. I am pretty good at the moment. There's a lot on my plate. But on my plate with lots of that I'm doing recently. So I'm doing a few things business-wise. So we're doing BoredGamer, and obviously got Zin now, and we're going to start expanding some of that Star Citizen content out a bit more, as we're looking to hopefully have a more stable, more playable, more gameplay infused Star Citizen soon, as well as Theatre's War and things like that. So we'll be able to stream that pretty regularly without much effort, literally play the game and chat about it. And there's a load of just general content we can do. So really looking forward to that. But I'm running some stuff on eBay. I'm selling collectibles in the sort of Kickstarter board games that are exclusive on Kickstarter. I'm selling limited run Magic cards and Warhammer models and things like that. So stuff that I have personal attachment to and want to invest in. I'm starting to go, well, actually, rather than just have all of my money in some sort of interest account or chuck it all on crypto or something, I'll buy some more tangible assets and sort of prospect with them, because if the worst comes to the worst, I can open it all up and load of Magic cards, a load of models. Do you know what I mean? Sort of invest in what you know is the idea there. So I had a warning-y thing because Ethereum had gone 15. It hopped 15% within a minute. So I'm not sure what's happened there. It went up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down by $300, which is weird. It could be a huge buyouts and then sell orders. Yeah, it would be. There'd be resistance from sells. That's mad. A lot of Ethereum has just been bought, is what it looks like, or it could be a mistake. Yeah, so today, beyond random stuff like that, I want to talk about Fleet Week. I want to talk about Alpha 3.13.1. I want to talk about the potential of one of these ships that we've learnt about, the Corsair, the Banu Merchantman, or the Vulture, as well as the Santok Yai, actually, being in the game by the end of the year. And it's likely that at least one of them will be. And because we've had some information, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But obviously, these are sort of all about me talking about what you want to talk about. So you asking questions, question in brackets, and then chucking that in the comments or in the chat, allows me to go, oh, this is what we are talking about, or answer a question. Hi, Bored, I have a question. Does it matter how many times we comment on your videos? Does one comment equal one vote, or does it not matter how many times we comment? If you're talking about the giveaway and Sinanju, Mr. 420, then every single video, one comment can count for. So you can put 1,000 comments on one video, and that is just one entry. Yeah, you could put a comment on 1,000 videos made during that month, although it probably wouldn't be more like 30 made during a month. If you put 30 individual comments on 30 different videos, that would be 30 entries. That's how it works, because what happens is that I randomly number generate effectively, that's basically how it works, a video. So it goes, oh, video 4, the 4th video I made for that month, bam, and then it randomly number generates a person that commented on that video. So it doesn't matter, but it's all sort of compressed together. So I hope that explains a little bit better. I thought I put it in my... there's a link in the videos that I thought explained how it works, but I can probably explain in a bit more detail. Are you ready for new scanning with glowy, flashy, square bubble things? Yes, so people that saw the latest Inside Star Citizen, basically one of the things you're going to be able to do is scan the sort of sensor blobs. So when you do a ping, boop, yeah, like a blob, something's here. So rather than have like just a block, they're going to have a little bit more interesting shaped and have potentially little indicators of where within that scan, like certain signals are coming from, and then but you can then scan the blob to get more details on the makeup of the signals that you're detecting. And it's also going to be based on what type of scanner you have, and there's going to be lots of different types, from sort of more medical type scanners to more tactical, for combat, for cargo based scanners, that sort of thing. Andrew Hickenbottom, thank you very much. Hello and welcome to some more Money Citizen. I appreciate it. And is my channel Money Citizen. Oh my god, what a good name for a channel. Henshin, cue the epic music, flash of light, crack of thunder, and his awesomeness arrives. Hey there, Captain Starhawk reporting in the universe, coming to you live from Iowa in the USA. Well, welcome, Mr. Starhawk, or Captain Starhawk. Hope you're all doing well, Dr. Introvertus. Are you going to be playing in the Eco? You doing Eco? Eco with Salty Mike? I'm looking forward to it. I think we're bringing 6 people. Mixture of some of my mates, Star Citizen peoples, TIG employees. We all want to give it a go. Can we expect to see the Vulture go flight ready this year if the salvage implementation goes as planned? Dr. Introvertus, good question. So let's talk about this earlier rather than later, because I suspect we'll go over it again. To be honest, but you know, extra content, isn't it? So let's bring this up on screen. We know that in the progress tracker, some ships have been revealed. Okay, so they're working on this year the Drake Corsair, the Banu Merchantman, the Eopoa Santokiai, so the Xi'an Santokiai, and the Drake Vulture. Yeah, load of ships they're working on now. The progress tracker only shows up to the end of 2021 at the moment. So some of these that are sort of like look like they may be finishing off in December may not actually be finishing off in December, because the sort of it doesn't show further out than that. So it sort of like is misrepresentative of when their current work plans are finished. However, it's very possible that some of these ships could be completed. And we also have something to compound that in the monthly report, in the fact that we have progress was made on the Constellation Taurus. Last month we saw the ship move through the Reese prep with a focus on the levels of detail. Should be a small S, surely. White Box was also completed for a highly anticipated ship due for release later in the year. Anticipated ship, so that's a ship that's been announced, and we know that obviously those ships that we just discussed, the Corsair, the Merchantman, the Santokiai, and the Vulture, have all now been revealed to be on the progress tracker. So let's have a quick look on the progress tracker. Now, thinking about it, let's deliverables. You can do some searches on the progress tracker now to see features and where they sort of land. Let's go out for the year. So, Drake Corsair, plans for it to be finished early December. Yeah? Well, I say, actually, let's qualify that a bit more. The current plans by the US vehicle team are to be wrapped up, roughly planned to be wrapped up by early to mid-December. That's a more reasonable way of putting it. We don't know if it's going to be in the patch by the end of the year. We don't know if that's the only work it needs. Yeah? Same as everything on the progress tracker. Have a look at the merchantman. So thinking about this now, they've been working on the merchantman for a while. Yeah? So since January, they've been working on the merchantman. We know that they had actually done, obviously, a load of concept work before that, but it needed more. They moved the Polaris off the progress tracker, and it has yet to come back, but they are planning to put it back on here at some point. But the merchantman, it currently looks like it's running and going to be finished with the current work with the vehicle teams. Is it vehicle teams? Vehicle concept art and vehicle content team. Ooh. So I thought that they might be trying to rush the Banu merchantman out. And that's possible. But the work here is that vehicle concept artwork, which could also include white box and grey box, admittedly, finishes, as planned to finish at the end of July. And then they'd have a good part of 2 quarters to then make that vehicle a reality, which is possible. However, as I said earlier, this sort of cuts off when the studio ends for the year. So now I'm thinking that even with 50 weeks of work, even them working on it this whole year with a couple of teams, because they're not working on it in parallel, they are sort of here in June. But maybe they could do it in 6 months. They could do it in 6 months. Or does that? Or do you think that's too? They might be pushing it middle of next year. I'm thinking middle of next year now for the merchantman. We're actually thinking about it. So Vulture, well, the Corsair, quite likely. Let's have a look at the Vulture. So I think the Vulture is highly likely to come out this year. Yeah. So doesn't need concept work. It's got the US vehicle content guys working on it. We've got the sort of hull stripping. Salvage mechanics coming in, planned for later this year, and that hull stripping can be just scaled up for the Vulture. Makes sort of sense, right? I mean, it might not be coming out in the same patch. We could have it the patch afterwards. I think that's a high likelihood. Corsair and Vulture, well, Vulture very, very extremely likely. Corsair reasonably likely. Banu Merchantman not so likely, but possible. What's the other chip we said? What is the Santok UI in it? Santok. Some work going on for it. Again, sort of ends early December, so it's possible they're trying to get it out for the end of the year. What else did we have? Oh, just Santok UI, Merchantman, Corsair. That was it we had from ships. The Polaris hasn't returned on there yet. But I think it's very possible that we could see the Corsair and Vulture this year now. Especially because they basically said one of those ships a ship is coming out. The ship that's being worked on is coming out. That's been announced. It could be multiple ships. It could be all of them. I do think the Banu Merchantman now thinking about it is probably less likely this year, just because it sort of cuts off at the time you'd expect it to cut off. And it needs concept work still this year. So maybe the stars could align. Maybe. Scruffy Rico, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. And the real dysfunctional... Functioning. Thanks. I appreciate the subs. Very much appreciated. Oh, you stars. Thank you. But yeah, so potential Banu Merchantman, low likelihood. Corsair, Vulture, I think pretty likely. Banu Merchantman is a controversial ship. How so? Isn't it pretty mega hyped? Like, I'm super excited for the Banu Merchantman. It's a cool looking ship. Boop. So, Star Citizen Tools, great website for a load of the latest Star Citizen updated information. Much more better updated than the RSI website by some magnitudes. I wanted to run my own wiki at one point, and then the Star Citizen tool guys went, "You can help us run ours if you want." And I looked at theirs and went, "There's no point in me running my own, and I'm not sure if I can help you because you've got everything pretty covered." I will draw attention to it though. This wiki's great. This wiki's genuinely great. But yeah, I think the Banu merchantman looks fantastic from the concept work here. It did change from its original concepts a little bit. We do know it's got a bit bigger. We're supposed to have some sort of interactivity between the Banu defender and the merchantman. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I bought a lot of Banu merchantmans for future giveaways a while ago, so look forward to that in the future. What else have we got? What else have we got here? Can we expect to see the Vulture go flight ready this year, if salvage is planned? I think it's highly likely. Have you heard any news if Anna, aka Miss Babbage, and Rowena Dooley, she also plays, has played Star Citizen with her new PC? I don't know. I will drop her a message. She's certainly been doing some stuff on her gaming channel. I've been super busy recently, beyond just Messenger a couple of times on Twitter. I haven't really been in much contact with her. I'll give her a poke. Obviously, you don't want to overly bother her, because you don't want it to like be a burden that she has to play. It's something that's sort of as a present. But I think the Cobras probably have, and Cobra has more of a pull with that, is seeing that they were the guys that effectively organised most of that PC and funded most of it. But I'll keep you updated. I think she's a cool nerdy dudette, and yeah. Go check out our YouTube channel as well. There's a YouTube gaming channel, and she also does a bit of singings and actings. I'm planning to grab a Vulture at the upcoming Drake Defense Con. Yeah, I'd expect them to be on sale. Why not? They're support ships, and Drake don't have to conform. I suspect that the Vulture will also be able to do light repair. And the reason I suspect that is because the hand version of hull stripping, yeah, is supposed to allow you to strip hulls, but also hand repair hulls, because you use the same materials. So, but do you really think that the server state could support a few Banu merchantmen flying around Stanton? I don't think that's much of an issue anymore. I don't think that that's the issues. Like the capital ships flying around and that sort of thing aren't the issues. It's when they have a weird memory leak bug. It's when they have server instability. There's a billion edge case issues with Star Citizen because the engine and the game is not fully developed yet and has not gone through that sort of hefty polish phase that it needs to get it in order. And it doesn't have like Vulkan integration. It doesn't have a load of its sort of major tech finalized. It's sort of like hodgepodge together, and they're slowly sort of like getting the steamroller over that hodgepodge to make it nice and sort of conformed. You beautiful bull bastard. Thanks. I pronounced your name correctly. From my thinking, the E team does the design of the ship, and then the US team actually builds the ship. Yes, it's typically either the US or the UK teams for ships. Don't get my hopes up for the Banu merchantman. I apologise. I think I overhyped the Banu merchantman in one of my videos because I was like, oh, it could be the Banu merchantman. Well, it could be, but it's much more likely to be the Corsair and the Vulture. What else have we got here? When do you think the next Star Citizen will come out? Star System will come out? Middle of next year. That's my expectation at the moment. So for Pyro, and I actually expect that we will see Nyx pretty soon afterwards, within a quarter or two. After that. Do you think the Kraken will be on sale on Drake Tower? Yes. Almost certainly. Why not? It makes CIG more money. And they're going to want to make some money. Because they are a fan of money. And who isn't, eh? Right, what have we got here? What have we got? Boop, 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 boop. Question. Do you think the Redeemer will be as popular as the Mercury Star Runner? Basically in the same size class, just more combat focused. I think the Mercury Star Runner looks better. I think it's more multi-role. I think the Mercury Star Runner is going to be more popular by some margin. Although I do like the Redeemer, I just think that the Mercury Star Runner allows you to do like the data running and the cargo running in a sort of better way, whereas the Redeemer is more focused on being that gunship. When will we see Safety Boy again? Will he make a comeback and event Fleet Week? Yeah, I do want to do Safety Boy again. It's when I feel like I have high energy moments and I sort of take the piss out of people that do those high energy videos when I have about 10% of their energy. Cause I just don't have it. Although I am bipolar, so sometimes I do. Safety Boy will return, I promise. Yeah, I know a lot of people made a load of money just putting a little bit of money in Dogecoin. And good effort to them. I'm not a financial advisor, never take financial advice or medical advice or actually any life advice from me. I can tell you what I reckon on things though. I don't think hedge funds managers are going to sell much of the Ethereum off before 2.0 launches. I think, well, they might. So there's a huge amount of money you can make potentially from staking Ethereum. And at the moment, anything you stake for Ethereum 2.0 can't be taken out again until they go over to the system. So there's an ever-decreasing supply of Ethereum on the 1.5 sort of chain. So that makes it artificially more valuable, in my opinion. Please clarify for people that the Banu Merchantman being on the roadmap does not mean it will be finished. Merely it's being worked on. Many will be disappointed. Fair point. I will make it very clear in some videos. I'll say there is a possibility that we could see the Banu Merchantman at the end of this year. However, that is incredibly slim. Got as much chance of Squadron 42 being released by the end of the year, sort of thing. And Pyro and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It looks to me like we're going to start to see a load of work on the Banu Merchantman this year. As in, we're going to start to see them talk about it. But you're right. I probably need to make that clear. Otherwise, people get super hyped. And they're like, you said it was gonna. CIG sort of didn't say it wasn't. Do you like Mexican food? I love it, Lane Grimes. Someone sent me a load of money. Plastic Death. Happy Friday once again. Oh, I love you, Plastic Death, for reasons I'm not allowed to tell other people. We're not sending each other illicit pictures, don't worry. Or are we? Apart from missions and NPCs, are there any parts of the game that will have long-term procedurally generated content? So, a lot of the game is procedurally generated in the fact it follows a procedure to create the content. The physicalization of NPCs. I know what you're trying to say, though. So, expect to see missions, probability volumes, and encounters. So, you're going through quantum, you're quantum traveling. Procedural code will, using the simulation data, so the dynamic universe simulation, the quanta data, will work out what to physicalize in that area, will work out what you encounter. You might see some random missions, you might see a distress signal, you might get attacked by pirates. That's all procedural content. It is sort of by its definition, and it depends on how you define that aspect. But I'm expecting points of interest, so new asteroid fields or clusters, which may be temporary, temporary wormholes, temporary salvage sites, things like that. Never temporary until they're exhausted. That sort of needs to be procedurally created, but that's influenced hugely by the quantum system, or the quantum system is that procedural system, if you see what I mean. Yeah? Is that a fair way of putting it? More than welcome to disagree. I did describe maybe 4 years ago Star Citizen spaceships being effectively akin to crypto coins. Currently, the lack of meaningful player progression of the game seems to be drastically lacking. Yes. Well, yes. Which major upcoming mechanic do you foresee adding more progression to the game? We need a lot. It's nothing upcoming is going to add drastically to the progression of the game. I think continued evolution of the reputation system and looting is going to help a lot, for sure. So maybe you could argue that the updates to inventory because of that. So local inventories, looting inventory, which they're working on, and the ability to buy and sell a lot more. Yeah? And that's probably going to do a lot. Dynamic economy stuff, and the dynamic universe simulation will probably do a lot for that. But Star Citizen is not really in a place where we can have that type of gameplay expanded out too much at the moment. We don't have that meaningful progression because the game's in alpha. And it's going to be wiped, and there's only a fraction of the gameplay loops in one star system without a load of the core systems it needs. Nevermore Fuzzy, play Warframe, Railjack for now. Enough said. I have not played Warframe for a while, since they changed the map in it. So I played Warframe a lot originally, and me and my mate Zen, we had sort of like all the... I think every Prime suit that was available at the time. We quite enjoyed it. They changed the sort of map, and we didn't like the changes to the map. And it was like, I was a bit confused. I didn't like it. I did like the... when I saw the trailer for the sort of ship fights and the combat there. I do like Warframe. I'm not sure if it has enough depth for me. It's sort of very repetitive. It's quite fun. Repetitive's not bad. Dota is repetitive. People love it. All forms of battle royales are repetitive, but they can be great. Odds that someone's going to try and actually steal the Javelin during Fleet Week? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to try. So, from what I understand of the Javelin that's going to be the Warhammer Javelin, which is going to be in Space Dock, that we're going to be able to tour, yeah, is that it's indestructible effectively and is not still up for flying. So, oh, you want me to boost my mic? Yes, sorry, I will. Is that a bit better? Bring it slightly closer and face it towards me as well. Hopefully that's a bit better for you. Underground Born, thank you very much for becoming a BoredGamer channel member. Everyone else should become channel members. I'm just saying, because that helps the channel out a huge amount. And I want your money. It makes me and Zin be able to make more content, probably. $350 for a nearly capital ship with an alien maul. You can get it in game eventually, though. I think $350 is both incredibly ridiculously expensive and very cheap. And it depends on what view you have. I think I got mine for $250. I think I got all of mine. Thanks for your opinions on Warframe. No worries, Nevermore Fuzzy. When I started, before I was doing Star Citizen content as well, I started doing a little bit of Warframe content, and they sent me loads of platinum. That was time ago. I really enjoyed Warframe. Banu, roughly planned for November. No. So the work on the roadmap looks like it ends towards the end of this year. However, it could just be that that's the work we can see for it at the moment, and it might be going on into 2022. You have been clickbaited, but I also clickbaited myself because it's possible it will come this year, but it's much more likely that the Core Set and Vulture will be coming this year. Man's bulk bought Indomitus. Yes, the second print the second print run they did of 40k Indomitus box sets, I bought 120 boxes. But have you looked at buying NFTs? Not properly. I'm aware of non-fungible tokens. Is that how you pronounce it? NFTs. And I've seen people like Sarah McCullough, who was one of the concept artists at CIG. She sold relatively recently, I think for like an Ethereum or two, one of her original ship designs that she like had first concepted ages ago. So I'm sort of interested in them. I will look at them a bit. They're like sort of digital trading cards as well as representations of assets and things, and I quite like the idea. What a world we live in. Bored, it's hedge funds. They're pulling the market around and have the ability to shift large amounts of the market and really quickly. That is true. But they don't want a single one-off payoff. They want consistent profits. Hey Bored, hope all as well. On the Banu Merchantman train, do you know if any of the solid measurements, loadout, new concept, art design available anywhere? So there's not too much hard data on the new Banu Merchantman sort of infos. Okay, so no, not yet. However, Mr. Sparrow, I will poke CIG. Do you think this will jump the Banu Merchantman in price for Invictus? The Banu Merchantman is due for a price rise. I will tell you that. Bro, you look tired. I'm always tired, mate. And I didn't sleep very well last night. Banu Merchantman interior picks coming soon. I would expect towards sort of end of second quarter, start of third quarter, we'll start to see stuff like that from the Banu Merchantman. That's my expectation. Wasn't the Banu Merchantman rumoured to have synergy with the Defender? Yes, it was. We don't know exactly what synergy. Some sort of light dock, maybe it can dock with it entirely. Also, how will ships access the Banu Merchantman's shops, in your opinion? So, ship-to-ship docking, or EVAing across. I mean, I like the idea of a little shuttle for the Banu Merchantman as well, eh? Does that make sense? A little Banu shuttle? Why not? Just a two-person shuttle. Move people around. I like the idea. Do you think with the sell feature, maybe we can sell the ships that we purchase with Alpha VBC? Also, I think actually that the Banu Merchantman is going to be docking with stations and stuff to do a lot of its trade. Do you think that the sell feature maybe we can sell ships that we purchase with Alpha VBC? Yes, in the future, that's the plan. You like waffles, good job. Dev confirmed someone discovered the Banu Merchantman Defender synergy online. Which do you think it is? Discovered online, what? It said it, and it's pretty accurate. I think it's a light dock. I think you can sort of like partly easily dock with it to get some like refueling and to use the same quantum travel bubble. That would be my expectation. So that it can literally be and you can have like a couple on there. So that it can literally defend the Merchantman by undocking quite rapidly if they gets attacked. That'd be my expectation. Will we ever have a more robust system for ship parts on a larger scale than current grading system A to D? It's quite linear right now. Yeah, so we're going to certainly have more expansive components and a lot more going on, and the ability to overclock components and stuff, and subcomponents within them. I think that the rough A to D guide probably does need to be expanded, in my opinion. But I mean, rough guide system of how powerful or good something is maybe. Yeah, the Polaris, expect it to probably reappear or be talked about in the next publish for the roadmap on the, is it the 19th of May? Yeah, on the 19th. And we should probably see some more information around then on the Polaris, because it was removed off the progress tracker, but they said that it was because they were working out where it was going to land. Will Star Citizen ever have the ability to explore a point of interest and actually find things that will benefit your character or ship, either by collecting it and selling it or actually using it? Yes. So they want to have things like you will find a derelict or a wreck, or a pirate base, or something, or a salvage site. So a huge amount of stuff that could be found there. Some missions, or some submissions, or some secret loots could be around. They are planning to add loot into the game. And have lootable bodies and things like that. The Corsair has a lot of firepower at the pilot's hands. Is it really an exploration ship, or is the Drake pulling a fast one? So I think it's a Drake multi-role exploration ship. Yeah, it's Drake, no frills, but they like guns pointing forward. Are both the Hull A and Hull B coming before the Hull C? We don't know. We do not have an actual indication of when any of those ships will be released. I know they're being worked on. Inside Star Citizen discussed the different modes and settings of scanners. Could this be a step in the direction of adding scanner computer blades? I mean, yeah, but not directly. It's going to be a while before we have the blade system and upgrade system sort of implemented. Although they are working on it, so. I don't understand why people get hyped for the Hirschman. Like, even when it comes out, it will just be an empty floating husk. It's a beautiful floating husk. And we might have the ability to sell stuff and do things with it at the time. Maybe. Bored, on one of your videos you talked about graphics card throttling. I'm using a 2080 Ti, as am I at the moment, getting 30 to 40 frames. I can't find the vid you did for the fix. Can you please explain again? So you can go into your NVIDIA control panel settings, boop, and you can limit the frames to 60, so you don't get the same sort of throttling. And you want to turn off the frames straight to GPU mode as well. I can't remember what that's called. You can turn it on ultra, on, or off, and Star Citizen prefers it off at the moment. Though I haven't checked out with 3.13.1. I find a natural feature on Magda that CIG clearly put in as a point of interest. What do you know about CIG putting in points of interest around systems? So I think they will be more abundant once they've finalised a lot of the sort of planets. At the moment, they're sort of still improving their planetary tech, and it changes the way they look. They might do a feature or whatever, but I think that you will start to see more Wonders of the Worlds and things like that once the code for that has been more finalised. Because they don't want to build these points of interest that will take them time, and then there to be an update to the generation code for the planets, because it's procedurally assisted at the very least, that then sort of wipes it or makes it irrelevant. Yeah? Gib Polaris, I know, right? I think I prefer the Banu Merchantman over the Polaris, but I do want both pretty similarly. RSI is monkeys with typewriters, basically. Well, then eventually they will write Shakespeare. No, wait. I want spaceships. So what do you think is going to happen with the Polaris now? Next year we'll see it, maybe? Yeah, middle of next year is when I was expecting to see it, if it was a demi-priority for them. I can't see how the Banu Merchantman could be done this year, thinking about it. Like, next year, yeah. And what about the Hercules AT, when we see that variation? It's 3.15, isn't it, for the Bomb Boy? Let me just check. Hasn't moved. Don't want to give you incorrect information unless it's me speculating. In which case, I'll give you as much incorrect information as I fancy. Release view on the roadmap. Yeah, A2, 3.15 as well. It's also coming with bombs and mine tech coming in that patch as well. Are we going to get a different type of mine layer? Or will the A2 be able to lay mines? What else we got? Yeah, as I said, I think we'll see the Polaris reappear on the roadmap progress tracker on the 19th. And obviously we also get the expanded out to Q1 2022 at the same time. Do you think the performance issues on the public servers will improve at some point so you can play the game with the same smoothness and lack of glitchiness as shown in the demo? Yes. Obviously it's core to making Star Citizen a proper game. And obviously they can have a lot better, less buggy experience when they have the sort of enclosed tech demos that they show at CitizenCon. Do you think Star Citizen will become free to play once it's easier to build crews? I think that Star Marine, Theatres of War, and Arena Commander potentially could be free to play. I don't think Star Citizen will be buy to play. Don't think you have to pay subscription or anything.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
I hope you are happy and healthy and doing well. Love you.
Premier Boris, thank you very much. I appreciate the sub. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What else have we got here? Do you think the... That's what I literally just talked about. Do you think the Star Citizen... talked about that. Bored. How will Death of a Spaceman be affected with the Banu merchants shopkeepers? Could you be held trial for a dozen murders if you fly recklessly? You wouldn't be held to trial of anything. You'd get the criminal record for killing them all. But exactly how that law would work, I don't know. If it's an accident, I suppose you... You've got a ship. You've got a load of people on your ship. You've got a Genesis Starliner. You've got a load of players on your ship. And you decide to blow it up. Self-destruct. Is that murder for everyone on board? Interesting question. We need the law to decide. You want edge cases to be avoided where people will use that. Sorry, man. Just a quick drop in and out. Apparently, you're supposed to work all at work. Enjoy your beer money. Thank you very much, Asmodeus. Asmodeus. I think I got it right the first time. I'm bad with words and names. Thank you so much. I appreciate your money. And, just watch and donate me instead. Who needs work? Have you seen Star Citizen Leaks video on the new ship skins that we sold at Invictus? I've seen the screenshots that they shared. I haven't watched their video on it. I'll check it out later. Lots of the Star Citizen Leaks stuff is pretty accurate, but not always perfectly accurate. So always take it with a pinch of salt. Don't ever assume that they are 100% perfectly accurate. I mean, even they say they're not perfectly accurate, so bear that in mind. Rawr! That's a bear in mind. So what are they going to do about trade? Both the C2 released soon and the Banu merchant later. Have they said anything about making it profitable? No, but we can assume that they will. They're working on a dynamic economy. They're working on all that sort of stuff. So there will be a boom and bust, and there will be certain things will be more valuable than others during certain times. There will be hauling missions. There will be you can even see now in the latest 3.13.1 patch that there's commodity sort of alerts as prices change, which is pretty good. So expect it to be profitable at some point if you do the right kind of trading at the right time. But at the moment, Star Citizen is a very small ecosystem, so it doesn't really do trade very well. And CIG does seem to go at the idea of doing a jump down again. Well, maybe not. Maybe they weren't horses. but I do think they ignore it a lot of the time, and they shouldn't. Like, Jumptown is one of the best experiences, because not just because of the trade, not just because it made trade viable and fun, but also because it had a billion other things going on, and combat, and silly things happening, and people queuing, and people locking servers down, and things. I loved it. What else have we got? What do you think happened to ArcCorp? There is only one area to land on the planet, excluding rooftops. All the other planets and moons have several places. They're working on additional areas for that in Turbulent, I believe, at the moment. I'll try and get you some more details of that, because they've only sort of very vaguely mentioned it. Do you think them adding the Vulture means Tier 0 scrapping will be more than just the multi-tool? I think it's a possibility. So I think it's more likely that we'll get it the patch after. But it's very possible. It is just a larger scale. What are your favourite ships for solo play? Saucy. I love the Sabre still. I love Ninoring around in a Cutlass Blue. Cutlass Red's easy to use because you can just save your spawn location there. Depends on what I'm doing. Obviously, if I'm mining Prospector. Will we be able to travel on the Javelin when it travels to another station beyond other planets? So, as far as I'm aware, the Warhammer Javelin is fixed at a particular station during Fleet Week. It doesn't move. And is indestructible. I think. It might be moving. I haven't actually thought about it that much. It might move around. Cool if it does. And you can be on board while it's flying around. I recently purchased the Taurus. How do you think it will come? Do you think it will come at 3.14? So the Taurus is planned for 3.14? Yes, I think it will come there. At what point do you think we'll be able to use our kitchens and bars and stuff on our ships? It's going to be a little while out yet, because they're going to want to get a load of the netcode and stuff sorted before they start to have a load of props, probably even to the level of server meshing they want to get to. But they are starting to work on custom habs and things like that, and that sort of level of minutiae. It's all the sort of stuff that you'll start to see next year start to be phased in. But the first step towards that is the sort of local inventory system, and then customizable player habs and things like that. Bored, anything planned for Planet Life, like the giant sandworm? Yes, so they are working at the moment on the Boreal Stalker, which is the Microtech Yeti, and we know they're working on Space Cows. I don't know when the worm's going to be in game, because that's a Lear 3 thing, so specifically for the Lear system, which is not really close to the areas we think they're building currently. But they're building various other life as well, so Bio Crab, things like that. Apologies if this isn't a topic for today's discussion. Anything you want to discuss, mate? Although I might ignore some questions if they're dum-dums. Do you have any information or know where I can find anything on server meshing or iCache coming in future patches? I've been disconnected from Star Citizen for a while. So they've talked about it a few times more recently. So iCache has been rolled into the general wider server persistence and streaming services and server meshing. So they are working on all of that at the moment. Everything that's currently being built in Star Citizen is built with iCache and server meshing in mind, with optimizations ready for them. So iCache is sort of slowly being phased in, and server meshing, when they release server meshing, everything's built for it already, so it just sort of plugs in. That's as I understand. You'll hear more of that throughout the year. We saw a little tiny bit of it talked about in the monthly report, which I've just done a video on. It is literally a genetically modified apex predator that they have artificially created one. The Microtech guys went, you know what we can do with science? Make a monster. GT safe question mark. Oh man. Oh, that's nostalgic. Yes, of course it is. Lol. How much quantum time fuel will the C2 have? Don't know. Bear with me 1 second. Question in brackets if you'd like to ask more questions. I'm going to do a real quick bio. Hi. Oop. Don't knock over my water. Do you reckon the Pioneer base builder will ever go on sale again? Yes. It will go on sale again. At the very least, it will go on sale during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo at the end of November. Hull B, question mark, being worked on. Could be this year, but we don't really actually have much information. Actually, is it on... That information is based on me talking to someone at CIG. But is it how... Yeah, okay. So... I mean, the other thing that could be, I suppose, what we were talking about from earlier, the Hull A, B, and C, yeah, they're all being worked on from, well, the Hull B being worked on potentially now. Hull A end of June, and the Hull C is being worked on at the moment. So, it's possible that the Hull C could be ready by the end of this year, and that's the ship they were referencing as well. Ooh. Oh, ship-to-ship docking, ship-to-station docking, and lots of the cargo stuff makes more sense now. And we've been waiting for this Hull C for ages. All these teams that are working on it. Narrative, okay. Okay. That means we might see it in an event. That suggests to me. Vehicle tech team and the vehicle content European team. Okay, there's a good chance we could see this by the end of the year as well. And there's a good chance we could see this for... Nah, just Mrs. Citizen Con. Huh, that's pretty cool. Will we be able to base build without a Pioneer? They have said yes. They've said the Pioneer is more of a mobile factory now for base building, or largely for base building. But you won't need one to build a base. Do you think there will be different types of ammo for ballistic guns? Yes, they've said there is. There will be different ammo types for some weapons. With them allocating some time to developing the Corsair later this year, do you think we'll see significant changes to the hardpoints, SCU, etc.? Or we could say, see some changes and balance and tweaks, rather than massive changes. They're not going to go, we're redesigning the whole ship. But they might go, actually, it makes sense to have a smaller or larger point here. Typically, stuff gets a little bit bigger. Not always. Something, that's what she said. Do you think they'll release a new Pyro and Nick system in stages? Oh, do I think they'll release them in stages or just dump them all at once? I think we'll get an initial launch and then iterative improvements and additions to them. I think they will be mostly complete when they sort of release them, because they don't need the same level of huge amounts of landing zones or anything there. Each of them have sort of like got one major landing location and then some other more little bits. And what do you think will be on sale this year during Fleet Week? So, combat ships and support-orientated ships and military ships. Bam. That's the sort of main focus. Then most of Drake's lineup as well towards the end. So, spoilers very briefly. If you don't want to hear spoiler, turn off for 5 seconds. The Achilles Star Bomber is what Star Citizen Leaks have talked about. There's potential for a 400i, although not really a combat ship, the latter. But there's a potential for other ships and vehicles as well, even like a mobile refinery and stuff. The support ships. It looks like we may be seeing a little peek at the Bengal as well, so that's pretty exciting. Maybe. Question: haven't played or seen anything of Star Citizen in a year? Worth installing again? For Fleet Week, certainly. So Fleet Week, starting from the 21st/22nd of May. Only if you want to do the free fly. 21st of May. Check out Fleet Week. Big event. Try all the ships out. Definitely worth installing and checking out then. Load of cool stuff to do. Tour a Javelin. See the big fleet flying around. Looks like they'll do planetary flybys as well, so you can view them from the ground, things like that. Maybe some other cool events and things happening. Do you think Star Citizen will have an endgame? Well, yeah. I mean, there'll be more endgame type content, which might be high risk, high reward zones, base building, org wars, some more dangerous stuff that requires high-powered ships with super top-tier gear, stuff that's quite complex to do, like proper stealth gameplay or things like that. So, yes. But also, I mean, there's going to be the reputation system and all that's going to start trying to push you to wanting to progress. And also, it might give you like access to different ships and equipment by being highly ranked with certain organisations. But obviously, you can't be highly ranked with all of them at once, because, well, number one, it'd be really hard to do because you have to maintain it, but some of these are diametrically opposed to each other. Major issue with bounty hunting is bounties hiding in secure ground bases, making it impossible for players who are collecting the bounty to acquire without trespassing. Yeah, bounty hunting licenses and stuff, some bounty hunting gameplay that allows you to move more freely might be a good idea. And bounty hunting needs more back, for sure. How confident are you that half of the planned release tickets for 3.14 will be released to the EU? Oh, I think over 2/3 of the content currently planned for 3.14 will be released with it. Hey Bod, heard any talk of NFT artwork for in-game shills? No, I haven't heard of anything like that yet. But I will be thinking about it, looking out for it. Is permadeath still planned? Yes, in the future. However, when you do permanently die, you do pass your gear and stuff on to your next of kin. There's sort of like a bit of death tax. You're not going to want to die, but it's not the end of your game. It's not like sort of like, oh, fuck this. So. Do you think them adding Vulture, we talked about that already, do you think more mandible armor will arrive piecemeal or all at once? So the insect armor, which is this armor, I think it's going to be just the helmets first, because they say it's just the helmets first. I mean, some people are going to argue that all of Star Citizen's endgame, because all tasks and all jobs are going to be need to be done constantly, which is, if they can do an economy that supports you doing even the lower tier tasks because they need to support the higher tier tasks, great. It makes the economy quite interesting. I love that. Hey, Board. What do you think the Banu merchantman will come naked without interior? Would more come... I don't know what you mean by that, K-Snake, unfortunately. I think the Banu merchantman will release, and it will release probably with none of its modularity. So you'll have set modules in there that might be a particular type of shop. The idea is that you will be able to change the shop type eventually and things like that. Have you heard of a new game called Starbase? Yeah. Got quite a really vague title. I'll have a look at it. I'll have a look at it. Looks interesting. Okay. I'll take a glance at Starbase at some point. How you doing? Good to see you. And shout out to Zin. Where is she? He is not here. He's working. She is doing Squadron 42 roadmap update. Sounds like player looting is going to be a thing. Are you likely to receive a crime stat for simply looting a player's body that you found? Depends what the law in the area is. I genuinely suspect it. It depends what the area that it is. It depends if it's detected. Like, I don't suspect you'll be able to loot security personnel, for example, without getting a criminal rating. But, say you're a bounty hunter, you're going to need to loot and take away the gear of that person you've just captured, right? So maybe you're only allowed to loot the bodies of people that you've taken down legally, in a legal area. The law system will support it, we don't know how. At which stage are they going to put more focus on optimization? So they sort of put a little bit of focus on optimization each patch just to make sure it's working to some degree. But they are working on the Vulkan integration, Gen 12 renderer stuff, which is quite big. That should be seen within the next couple of quarters, and very much looking forward to that. So that's a big optimization improvement, or at least can be. What's your opinion on asymmetric ships? I love them. Just some of them look horrible, some of them look lovely. Mercury Star on it is probably my favourite ship at the moment, so... Cheers, mate. Did not expect anything, but thanks for taking the question up with CIG. Mate, I'll happily poke them sometimes. Gives me good content. They don't always answer me, but... Right. I'm interested to find out whether there will be a player character's progression tree. No. No. No player stats. Everyone's basically the same. Your gear might change some of your stats. But you're not going to have an experience system based on that. Do you think this war is going to be squad or planet side, or do you think it's going to be COD ripoff? Well, I've played it a reasonable amount. It's sort of like Battlefield 5 objective-based gameplay at a sort of combined arms sort of style. I think it could be pretty fun. Sounds to me like you're at the seaside, mate. Mate, I've got crypto coins mining. Eh? That's what it is. You can hear laptops mining the coins. I have turned up my my gain on my mic, so apologies if there's any hissing. I heard if you put a board stream to your ear, you can hear the sea. Nice. Love you, Zin. Love you, DC. So Zin, you're there. Here in chat. She's my editor. Deathcore, he is her partner. And he also helps BoredGamer out loads by like doing our like file solutions and set up the emails and helps with anything technical, pretty much. You're my hired muscle. Nice. I think I said that. We'll say that later and see how G reacts. I think he'll be offended somehow. What kind of tech and features does the Banu Merchantman need in order to be made with its intended features? So the main thing with the Banu Merchantman, beyond its general alien artwork and geometry, so building the ship and making it fly, is that it needs its big retractable guns. Yeah, I suspect that's still the plan, to have the retractable guns. Though it might not be. It might have changed that. And its shops. Though doesn't need to have all its features for its initial release, doesn't it? Certainly need to have all the ability to have all the shopping on, but maybe they want it to, maybe they don't. Depends on their priorities. Board, do you think that we will see the 2 Hercules variants in the PTU prior to the Invictus patch? Yes, I do. I think they're going to want to test them. Also, do you think they will do what they did with the Star on that and give it to a select few? Yes, I do. I do think that's the thing. Do you think the Banu will be good combat? If so, with or without the Defender? The Banu Merchantman is not supposed to be a combat ship. It can repel some ships. It's going to be relatively tanky, and it's going to have a reasonably good defense capability. But it's not supposed to go full on combat or anything. It's going to want defenders or escorts with it. Has CIG ever done a Q&A chat with a fellow YouTuber like yourself? Yes. BrismCon and stuff like that. They've done some online ones as well. Typically just one or two CIG stuff. What are your thoughts on the latest Crusader Cloud picture? Yeah, it's alright. Need to see it all come together, really. It's quite pretty. Do you have any more updates on the Endeavour? No. It's big. Science gameplay I suspect to be quite further out, quite far out. What kind of gameplay does the Colonial Outpost add? So it's going to be a mixture of a mission hub, it's going to be a new player sort of spawn location on the ground, things like that. Places to trade with, potentially places that you can defend or attack, maybe? Do you think we'll be able to use the Kraken like a used car lot for selling ships from the landing pads? I don't know. Don't know how that the sort of transfer of ownership system will work as well. Do you think we'll ever get our own crash ships being derelicts to loot and salvage? Yeah, I mean, definitely in space. I want to see how they embed things like that into the ground, because I do think you'll be able to salvage them, and that's where a large portion of the salvage in the game is going to come from. With them, oh, I lost where I was. With them allocating some time to developing the Corsair later this year, do you think we'll see significant changes to the hardpoints? As I said, probably not significant, but some is certainly possible. When is the next server wipe? We don't know. They can wipe anytime they want, but they haven't wiped for ages. When does the Taurus release? 3.14 at the end of June is the plan. With ship to ship, I assume docking you mean? Do you think we'll see escape pods come within this year? Ship to ship docking is further out. Different from the sort of snub dock. Watched the B-roll and wondering if you ever docked completely manually to the Connie. Yes. Yes? No. Huh. I can't remember. I got used to just really quickly zooming into it and then auto-docking at the end. So I can't remember if I ever... feel like I had. But then maybe I did be at the end all the time. Would a ship like the Merchantman be used by AI before used by players? No, I don't think so. I mean, it could be, I suppose. You could have the mobile shops flying around, effectively. Do you think the Corsair's wing might be clipped to better fit in smaller hangars? Doesn't it move? Non-Star Citizen question. Did you get Resident Evil Village? No. I'm going to be watching Deathcore DC, Sin's partner, play it. We'll enhance Spectrum so that when we are away from the game to tweak and change our ship loadouts. Oh, you are supposed to be able to do a load of stuff outside the game with Spectrum, so potentially. With the sponsorship of Intel finished, do you think the Saber Raven will be on sale this year? I don't think so, no. I think they'll keep that as a promo-only ship. I say promo-only, you'll be able to buy it in-game. From other players at the very least. Yes, we're planning to do more gameplay stuff, actual gameplay streams and actual stuff with Board Game Community in the future. We are waiting for a nice, stable game. We might do some stuff during Fleet Week, maybe, although we might be too busy. Will they change prison sentence time to reflect game time instead of real time? No, I don't think so. I think it will be reflected in real time, so that you can log out and it still has its effect. Is it likely that Corsair gets nerfed due to balancing compared to the concept cell? It's possible it gets somewhat nerfed, but we'll have to wait and see. Do you expect any unlockable flair for Invictus, like the helmet from Halloween event? Oh, not that I've heard of. No, I wasn't expecting anything. There might be some flair available to celebrate, but Warhammer probably docked at Jericho, indeed. Well, yeah. But it might move. But probably docked. Is permadeath still planned? Yes, as I said earlier, I did do a deeper answer to that question, but... do you think the Banu Mobile Mall will be run by AI at first appearance? So it is supposed to be run by AI. The actual shops are supposed to be run by AI anyway. The individual shops aren't supposed to be run by a player. You choose what goes in them and their inventory, but you employ an NPC to run it. At least that's what they said. Any plans to update your old ship video, mainly the hull series? Oh yes, all of them. Someone was asking about the Javelin the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I'd probably better actually start looking at that. What happened to the Cryastra repair? It sort of... You will see small repair stations in similar fashion to Cryastra. And automated ones. I've seen videos of ships with re-entry heat effects. Is this already in-game? Because I've never seen it before. It's already in-game, yes. Hi, first time asking... want to know if we can purchase the toy foam gun in-game. No, it is a subscriber flare. You buy it from the website if you're a subscriber. Do you think if big space orgs get into fights, there will be clean-up crews that can salvage all the ships? Potentially, it depends how the laws work for the salvage in a particular area. So, it'll be interesting to see if you're allowed to freely fight ships if you're in a war with them. So, like in Eve, if you're in an org war, can you just freely engage those ships that you're at war with? What's today's sponsor? Probably NordVPN. Get NordVPN. Boo! NordVPN.com/BoredGamer or something. Use the code BoredGamer for the discount. Yeah? There's probably links below. Those are all my bloody videos, eh? I don't think there's any problem shilling the stuff as long as you're honest about shilling for it. I'm buying stuff off Gladius. Off my Gladius. What's your preferred weapon loadout for approaching big targets? I don't know at the moment. Been moved over to 3.13.1, and I have not really done much meta. When it comes, do you think Orison will suffer from people strafing the platforms? I think it will have some pretty good defenses. Do you think when we get Pyro and Fire implementation, we may also get flamethrowers? I'd love to see a flamethrower. I don't think games do flamethrowers very well. The first flamethrower I remember that was any good was in Alien vs Predator, the original. I was like, flame effects in this game are great, and they travelled down the corridor as well. Like, based on the aperture, it was they were fantastic. When will we see more armor in game? Probably a little bit more armor every patch. Ion or Inferno? I prefer the Ion because I like high alpha damage and some of those sort of long range benefits that it has. The Inferno obviously is cool as well. For shooty. So, I think any problems with Orison being camped or that sort of thing will probably be solved during either CAR-T and PTU phases. When will we see physicalized, fully physicalized perhaps? Don't know. I think you're going to see a escalation of customizable player habs in landing zones and outposts, where your sort of hab there will sort of persist, but teleport to slightly different locations in the short term, and then eventually you'll have fully physicalized habs. What is your favourite ship for light and small classes? Saber, probably, but it does depend on the role I'm doing. I do really like the Avenger Titan, just for how cheap it is. I like the Cutlass series for, pretty much everything. Do you think we'll get different ammo types, like explosive ammo, flak ammo, penetration? Yes, there are going to be different ammo types and less than lethal ammo, things like that. But for the FPS weapons, not all of them, but some of them. In the roadmap report, they said they finished the white box phase.
Yours are well. Thanks to you and Zin for all you guys do. Looking forward to Fleet Week and your coverage.
Thank you very much, Skylark. Appreciate it. We like you watching our content. Thank you. Oh, you Star. Thank you. So Star Citizen, I talked about this earlier. They've basically said in the monthly report that they are going to be releasing a highly anticipated ship later this year. Could be the Hull C, because there's work going on to that. It could be the Corsair, or it could be the Vulture. Those are the most likely. I mean, it's possible that's the Banu Merchantman, but looking at it in more detail, it looks like the Banu Merchantman will need more work than they can get into it by the end of the year. Yeah? Probably. I mean, it's possible. Obviously, the Santok Yai as well, but Hull C, Vulture, Corsair, all of those three, there's work finishing up on them before the very end of the year, and they could certainly be released. Any news on reworked hair or more hairstyles? We know they're working on beards and hairstyles and updating the hair, but we don't know when. Will skins be purchasable in-game? Yeah. As far as I'm aware. They won't have perfect parity to some of the stuff you might be able to buy from the website, but I'm looking for the aftermarket customization systems and that sort of stuff that they've got planned. As an owner of a Banu Merchantman, with NPCs inside my ship, what happens if I log out? Will my ship despawn or continue to be active making money? We don't know. We don't know yet. I'm assuming it stays there and continues to make money if it's in a safe location, but I actually have no idea. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just despawns. We don't know. Does CIG know yet? Maybe not. They do want Star Citizen to be relatively hands-on, so maybe you've got to be online. With Pyro, do you see orgs trying to keep territory, or will CIG prevent this? No, I want to see orgs trying to keep territory. It's much more Wild West, high risk and reward. What variant of the Hercules are you giving away this month? I think it's a C2. Yeah, assume it's the C2. The C2 on the M2, but that's what we've got in stock. I think it was the C2. Do we know how close Squadron 42 is to being released? No. Can you ask CIG to ask your beard as a new skin? It's a very minor beard, isn't it? Not a proper beard. I appreciate you calling this a beard. With the latest update to the Banu Merchantman and the roadmap, do you think the final sign will get it by the end of the year? It's more likely to be next year looking at it. I originally thought, before I started the stream, yeah, we could have the Banu Merchantman, it's possible. I do think it's very unlikely now. I do think we'll start to see it later this year, though. Now, they want to do Star Citizen pretty hands-on, so you won't be able to super automate everything. When will we be able to store our armor in lockers on our ships? It's planned to come later this year, with various updates to local inventory and stuff like that. So you should, by the end of the year, see physicalized lockers for most things. I mean, we've sort of seen them do suits in lockers even now. They could even release it in 3.13.1, though I think it's a little bit unlikely. Not a Star Citizen question, but are you looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3? Yes. Also, I'm playing the D&D tabletop campaign with mates, which we paused during lockdown, or paused towards the end of 2020, because we couldn't meet up. So we're going to meet up to do that again. It is the Descent to Avernus campaign, which is the prelude to the Baldur's Gate 3 game. So I haven't played or seen much of Baldur's Gate 3, other than I know Mind Flayers was somehow involved at some part of it. Mind Flayers? So yeah, really looking forward to Baldur's Gate 3. I love Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And even Throne of Baal. When will the Idris be flyable? We don't know. Although, obviously, people have been able to steal them and break into them previously and fly them around. If you were to work for any ship manufacturer companies, which ship company would it be? I mean, I love Drake on paper, but I think I'd probably want to work with Aegis. I love Aegis' stuff. Crusader are pretty cool as well. Oh, J-Bird, I love you. You are a fantastic, beautiful mod. When do you think CIG will release the 400i? We don't know. Was it actually just the 404 that you can see in the background there, the invisible ship? Actually, I think it probably is. I do think we'll see the 400i later this year. I think it might be a 3.14 ship. Do you think we'll be able to add ship decals such as kill markings? I would expect so with aftermarket customization. Will I ever be able to relieve myself while watching quantum animation in the Cuddy Red? They are adding poo-poo and pee-pee type things in the game, and a hygiene meter as well. A hygiene meter as part of the life status system, so I don't think you'll actually be able to see yourself doing it, but there'll be some form of animation for it. Is my expectation. Will there be a server cap increase for V1 server meshing? I would expect so. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3 is already so polished. It's only a small portion of the game, though, isn't it? Poo-poo, pee-pee, wee-wee, mon dieu. Doesn't need to be mature, Zin. I don't need to be mature on my channel. I could be at any level of chore. Unchore. Rechore. Chop. Will you be able to see the log coming out as you poop and then look at the log afterwards? I don't think so, no. I don't think we're going to ever be naked in Star Citizen. Even in the shower, I suspect we will have underwear on. Okay, does that help define it for you? My expectation for that? Just be professional. What? Have you watched my stuff before? Professional? Nah. When will... we talked about that. iCache comes in 3.14 for physical inventory. Sort of. I mean, physical inventory and local inventory obviously makes use of iCache. So, in that sense, yes. So when we get 30k, will we be able to spawn back in the same location? No, they haven't said that. It'd be great if they are doing that at the same time. They have not confirmed anything like that, though. Do you think we'll be able to store gear and spacesuits and things like that in boxes to carry to ships? We will be able to in the future. With the first iteration of the sort of like local inventory system, it will allow us to move stuff from our inventory to our ship to the local landing zone to our habs. So all those sort of things. Individual boxes, probably not at that stage. When is the Hercules actually coming? We should see that for Fleet Week. Starting from the sort of 21st-ish of May, the Hercules C2, M2, and the Nova tank. That's what CIG have said. Dong and Booba sliders. No. No. It's not Conan. Buy excrement at landing zones and select farms. Yeah, maybe manure. It might be a thing. I mean, there's Ranta dung in the game already. So what is your favourite largest ship? Mine is the Carrack. Carrack's... Mercury Star Run and Carrack are pretty high up there, yeah. Carrack's probably my favourite sort of that size of ship. Will Star Citizen get missions on the ground locations to fix servers on foot with no ships or stop a robbery? What do you mean fix? So you will see ground-based missions. You will see the use of outposts more in missions in the future. I love my Carrack, indeed. I love turtles. Yeah, so Star Citizen is going to try and appeal to as wide as audience as possible by having its age rating as low as possible. Certain subjects probably won't be covered. There's no children in the game, for example, as well. There's not really any form of blood or gore, really. No low levels of blood. Do you know what I mean? No Donga and Booba. I'm pretty sure your underwear is literally physically attached to your model. It may not be Conan, but I do hope they add more body customization. Facial customization and tattoos and decals and armor customization I'm up for. I don't need body customization. I'm not cyberpunking it. But that's just me. I know obviously that's quite important to some people. I want height. The problem is then it's more sensible to be the smallest model as possible, eh? You have a height scale. That said, it's... Do you think the Banu Merchantman will get bigger? It's supposed to be a little bit bigger, yes. Is Constantine your least favourite person? He's my favourite. I mean, he's alright, isn't he? Constantine Hurston, he's okay chap. It's not that annoying or anything. I mean, you like him more than Coffee Boy or Drug Man? He's a never nude. Everyone's a never nude. I want Mortal Kombat style deaths. I just wish I had more information on the Orion now. It's big. It grew massively. But it's probably quite a while out. Right, do we have any other questions? There's a mission. Is there a mission parody for Outlaw missions? I've noticed most of the Outlaw givers don't show up in Delphi. What? What? So most of the lawful missions either have... No, that's not true. There's a load of outlaw missions, which are very similar to the lawful missions. The outlaws can do them. And there's a load of outlaw-specific missions or counter missions that the outlaws can do as well. Oh, the outlaw givers don't show up in the Reputation app. I see what you mean. Do they not at the moment? I haven't even thought about it. I just looked at the... I've looked at it so briefly. Yeah, you should start to see those guys tracked on your Moby-Glass as well, because they're contacts. Do you think the big retractable weapons from the Banu Merchantman will survive in the final design? I sort of talked about it a bit earlier. I hope so. That's its main technical restraint. It's that and the shops themselves. I think it's cool. Makes sort of sense for the Banu Merchantman. There'll either be sort of tracted inwards. What am I talking about? They would be integrated and sort of fixed, or sort of like be retractable. I'm sort of okay with either. I'd much prefer them to be retractable. Mike Who, thank you very much for becoming a board citizen. Thanks very much for clicking the join button under my videos to help support the channel. Thanks. Oh, you star, thank you. When will the displays in ships be synchronized between players? They also want to save that as well. So they want to save the setup for that so that you can, even when your ship's been destroyed or whatever, you can just easily boop, pop it back on. I don't know. It's probably something they're working on at the moment with their cockpit improvements, cockpit experience, and MFD improvements. So, Sinister, thank you very much for subscribing. Very much appreciated. I appreciate the hustle. Oh, you star, thank you. About body mods, do you think we'll get scars from earlier afflicted injuries at some point? Yes, I do. So, I think your character will start to show damage and injury on it. And if when you die and get recloned, you actually will be a probably new-looking character. Although you might see sort of limbs and stuff replaced as your body starts to reject your DNA breakdown and things like that. Maybe. Sort of, they've talked very briefly about this stuff and how they want to do it now, and they go, oh, well, if you are unrevivable effectively, or your ship explodes and you're miles away, or you ran a sun or whatever, then you'll sort of, they respawn you as a clone of yourself. What is the state of trade in the live build? Not profitable, relatively pointless, most, at least partly functional now, though, compared to 3.12. Do you think the... Oh, sorry, I talked about that already. Where's Chris? He's there, he's just chilling. Making sure that no NDAs get broken. I can't tell you about the redacted and some of the other ships. I suspect that most folks are so trained by other games to become attached to gear that they will not be able to handle losing it. Look, I'm fine with a game having genuine risk and reward, but you're better to ensure stuff and things like that as well. Mike Who, is Spacewell still on the roadmap and on track for 3.14? So, Spacewell-wise, what you'll see is a Spacewell statue and probably a Spacewell plushie, and probably a space whale sort of uniform thing, you know what I mean, character. You will not see, unless magic's happened, a space whale jumping around, floating around on Crusader. I am part of the Evo, yes. At Tonk's release date, will there be other ships than the Starlifter that it will be able to go in? I don't think so. Does it fit in the... Fuel ship. What's the fuel ship called? Starfarer. Does it fit in the front of the Starfarer? Probably kind of. It's a chonky boy. So that tank's a chonky boy. So I think it's just the Hercules it fits in. About dying, will they make us attend our own former self's funeral? Well, you're not dead, are you? What's all this about the merchant? So I sort of debunked myself now. So Cloud Imperium have said that they're working on the white box of a ship that's going to be a highly anticipated ship that's going to be released later this year. We learnt earlier in the roadmap update that they were working on some highly anticipated ships which they revealed, which is the Drake Corsair, the Banu Merchantman, the Santok Yai, and the Vulture. We also looked at the roadmap and saw that the Hull C is also potentially one that could get done by the end of the year. But looking a bit more into it, looks like the Banu Merchantman probably will need more work beyond the end of this year. But the Hull C, the Vulture, and the Corsair are all ones that could be very much released this year. I would assume that the 890 Jumps vehicle gate could hold a tonk. Maybe. It's really big, the tonk, and oddly shaped. And if we should lose ships. Well, yeah, but you could insure them still. But there's still loss even involved in the loss of them if they're insured. It needs to drive the economy. Something needs to drive the economy. Will pirating get worked on, or will it not be able to rob other players for a while? Pirating and the looting of players is going to be a thing. It is sort of being worked on, or at least they talked about it recently. Do you see any gameplay related to animals, hunting predators, harvesting organic materials from others or else? Yeah, I mean, I suspect there will be gameplay associated with it. Maybe some big game hunter missions, maybe some materials missions, some science missions to track them and things rather than kill them. Yeah, almost certainly. Otherwise, what's the point there? I suppose that they could just be there to add risk to areas. But do you ever think they will do ship loss, as in permanently lose a ship? Like, I hope so. I think that, look, you're going to be able to insure ships, and insuring ships is an important thing. But I think that's going to be for the hull of the ship. So even if you'll be able to do that relatively cheaply. But you're going to probably want to insure your ship for all the components it's got on board as well. So that's sort of beyond like lifetime insurance. That's beyond basic insurance. That's, well, I want all my A-class military components can be insured. That might cost quite a bit more. And those components might be several times the value of the hull of your ship in total. What happened to the Polaris? So, they removed the Polaris from the progress tracker while they work out exactly where they want to place it. So expect to see it back on the progress tracker, in my opinion, on the 19th of May, and then we'll know more. Because they sort of originally said that the Polaris they had less concept work to do on it. So it looks like they were going to do that before the Banu Merchantman. So we'll have to wait and see. They better fix the goddamn economy before the Banu Merchantman. They better build the economy. So not something that needs fixing. They need to build it. Right, and in a short-term placeholder, they could obviously have something to fix as well. So, yeah, fair point. Every Friday chat, Borden's in. Thanks, Mr. Sparrow. Will the BD and Banu Merchantman? What's the BD? Banu Defender. Get synergy for docking to each other. That's what I'm expecting as well. I'm expecting some sort of at least a light dock between the ships. They can fly around. How much is the Banu Merchantman or the Polaris? The last time the Banu Merchantman was on sale was $350. So if you want to see how much a ship is currently valued at, you can go on the Robert Space Industries website. You can go to Pledge Store. You can go to Ship Upgrades. You can go to all ships and then just find the ship that you want to know the value of. So, merch, $450 when last on sale. Polaris is Pol. $750 when last on sale. Right, any other quick questions? The old time's got it for $250, I know, right? I didn't buy loads at $250, I bought loads and upgrades at around $350. Anything else to quickly answer? What ships do you think have had the biggest outside influence to its design? I mean, all of them? What do you mean? I mean, they're all worked on by loads of different concept artists. Probably the Reliance being heavily influenced by Star Wars. Davidson Jimenez, thank you very much for the sub, for clicking that join button underneath my videos. Appreciate it. Do you think the push for Theaters of War is a way to push Star Citizen into the mainstream? I think that is a big thing of it, yes. I think they want to have Star Citizen working in a little tiny ecosystem, going, look, it's pretty, it's cool, it's got scope, And it's like games that you enjoy, kids, like the Fortnites and the Battlefields. Well, not like the Fortnites, but like the Battlefields. Yeah, and if Theatres of War is released in a good state when it's started, then yes, it will be pretty fun. Server-side object container streaming, what happened to it? It's implemented in-game. There's a load of other tech that's also now coming. And they are still further optimizing socks, so... what ship do you think has the... That's what it literally talked about. My beautiful egg face. Right. Good AMA. Well, thanks. Appreciate it. I will be getting out a summary of Inside Star Citizen in the next couple of hours. Tomorrow we'll... over the weekend we'll get a Star Citizen news video up. We'll get a summary of the Star Citizen Live, which is at, I think, 8 PM UTC later tonight. We'll get a Squadron 42 development report update up as well. So that's what you can expect over the next few days. Yeah. Thanks very much for joining us today. Very much appreciated. I'm going to pass you over to another Twitch streamer and recommend someone else for you to watch. Who's around? Give Maya some love. Maya's a good chap. I think we're going to be playing Eco together on Sorting Amongst servers next week as well. But I love Maya. He's a good chap. He's playing some Star Citizen. He's got some good answers. He's got some good bants as well. Or at least puns. I think maybe it's not the bants he's got the puns. But give him some love and remind him that he has a beautiful hat and a beautiful bald head. Like all the best content creators are bald. We know that. We know that. Thanks for watching me today. Very much appreciated. Love you loads. And thanks for people that have subscribed. Thanks to people that donated. Thanks for clicking that join button. Thanks for clicking the subscribe button. Thanks for